Welcome back to Alpha Recap, everyone, the show where we break down the biggest moves in finance and biotech with a little bit of sparkle. I'm glad you tuned in. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai. Today we're talking Dasher Neuroscience and a Phase 2 milestone they announced on July 28, 2026. And yes, we recorded this after the market close.
Thanks for having me. I was excited to dig into this one. Dasher's update felt like one of those operational milestones that tech and biotech folks tend to overinterpret, so it's a good story to unpack.
Totally. So to start, Dasher said they completed patient enrollment in the global Phase 2 trial of YA101, their lead candidate for multiple system atrophy. Short version, recruitment is done. Drew, tell our listeners why that actually matters.
Sure, completed enrollment means the trial hit its pre-specified headcount. For small biotechs, just getting patients into sites can be the biggest headache. Site activation delays, slow recruitment, even competing trials. So crossing that finish line suggests their operations and site network worked well.
Right. It's like finishing a marathon before anyone sees the final time. But, it's not the same as showing the drug works.
Exactly. Enrollment completion is necessary, but not sufficient. There was no efficacy or safety data in the announcement. Phase 2 is still about proof of concept and dose refinement. So the real decision points are the readouts to come. And I mean, when you step back and look at this, analysts typically treat that kind of news as incrementally positive. It removes one operational risk, recruitment, but it doesn't change the underlying clinical probability much.
Which makes sense. I want to talk about the AI angle, because Dasher positioned YA101 as AI discovered. That was in their release. How do market folks view the AI provenance now?
There are two camps. Some analysts are optimistic. They think AI speeds candidate selection and finds novel chemotypes, which in theory improves odds. Others are skeptical. They say AI is a discovery tool, and the human clinical trial is the final arbiter. So AI adds narrative value, but clinical validation is decisive.
So AI gets you a great origin story, but it doesn't yet get you a victory lap.
Right, exactly.
Let's get into the disease context. Multiple system atrophy. Tell folks why this indication matters and why it's also so risky.
MSA is a rare, progressive neurodegenerative disorder with autonomic failure, Parkinsonism, and ataxia. Progression is typically faster than Parkinson's, and there are no approved disease-modifying therapies, so unmet need is huge. But CNS trials are notoriously high risk. Heterogeneous progression, placebo effects, and limited biomarkers make signal detection much harder.
Not a great day for easy wins, huh?
No, not at all. The therapeutic prize is big, but the clinical science is challenging.
Okay, quick reactions. Short ones. Ready?
Yeah, that tracks. Right.
Now, the market implications. How did different investor types likely view this update?
Event-driven traders probably like the cadence. Enrollment completion gives a clear timeline toward data collection and readout. For risk-tolerant biotech investors, it tightens the timeline to an outcome event. Long-horizon institutions, though, likely stayed neutral. They want to see efficacy, safety, and clarity on financing before changing allocations materially.
And liquidity matters here. TPEx listings can be thin, which can amplify moves, right?
Yes, Dasher is Taiwan listed and small, so price moves can be exaggerated with relatively small volumes. Analysts pointed out that enrollment news can shift momentum, especially in thinly traded names, even if the underlying information content is modest.
Let's talk financing, because the press release didn't show cash runway numbers. What are the usual routes for a company at this stage?
Two common paths. One is non-dilutive, partnering or licensing, especially attractive if the program looks promising and the AI narrative entices strategic partners. The other is dilutive, equity or debt financing to get to readout or beyond. Analysts emphasize that the company's next moves on financing will be material for execution risk.
So the partnership path is kind of the ideal non-dilutive route, but it's not guaranteed.
Exactly. Partners will look closely at trial design, endpoints, powering, and any biomarker evidence before signing up.
Speaking of trial design, Dasher didn't disclose endpoints or readout timing in the release. What should listeners watch for in future updates?
Watch for a specific window for the primary endpoint analysis. Whether the study includes validated biomarkers or surrogate endpoints, sample size and powering, and inclusion criteria. Those elements determine whether a Phase 2 can actually de-risk the program in any meaningful way.
Got it. And DSMB or safety updates between now and the primary analysis? Another big signal?
Yes, any Data Safety Monitoring Board communications or interim safety flags can materially change expectations. CNS candidates can reveal tolerability issues that affect dose selection for later trials.
Okay, let's do a little myth busting. What are some common misunderstandings about enrollment completion?
1. People assume enrollment means clinical success is likely. Not true. 2. Some think enrollment alone justifies re-rating the company. Often it doesn't. 3. Others underestimate the operational value. Successfully enrolling globally does show competence, which matters for partners and investors.
So it's a mixed bag. Operational good news, but clinical question marks remain.
Yep, analysts generally agreed on the operational upside, but disagreed on how much the market should value that absent data.
Let's mention the debate around an AI valuation premium. Some folks assign a premium to AI-originated programs, others don't. What's your take on that tension from an analyst perspective?
Analysts in the optimistic camp believe AI can create platform value and generate strategic interest, potentially commanding better deals. Skeptics note that platform value only materializes if clinical translation succeeds. So right now, AI is a narrative enhancer, but not proof of clinical benefit.
Quick check-in. Favorite line from the press release or the commentary you saw?
I liked that market commentary called enrollment a de-risking milestone, but clarified it was conditional on data quality. That felt balanced.
Good line. Now, 2 short reaction segments. Just quick thoughts on what could go wrong and what could go right.
What could go wrong? Noisy endpoints and safety signals.
What could go right? A clear efficacy signal and partner interest.
Right, and to add to that, successful readouts could convert AI narrative into real platform value.
All right, Drew. Let's wrap with the big takeaways for our listeners. What should they remember from today's episode?
First, Dasher completed global enrollment in its Phase 2 trial for YA101 on July 28, 2026, which removed a key operational risk. Second, enrollment completion was a procedural milestone. There was no efficacy or safety data in the announcement, so core uncertainties around clinical signal and tolerability remain. Third, financing and regulatory pathway decisions will be central next steps. Partnerships could reduce funding risk, while equity or debt would be dilutive. Finally, AI provenance adds narrative value but not clinical proof. Human data will decide whether that narrative converts to long-term value.
Perfect. Quick reminder, this discussion was informational and not investment advice. Analysts note risks and uncertainties, and listeners should do their own due diligence. If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for having me. Always good to parse these biotech milestones with a clear, tempered view.
Thank you for listening to Alpha Recap. We'll be back with more analysis next time. Don't forget, questions at stockalpha.ai. Bye for now.